I wonder what it'd be like to try to do this review in complete silence, just not speak anything at all, just like do hand symbols for you guys to try to understand what I'm trying to say. But I don't really know sign language, so I'm not even gonna try. I was just wondering out of curiosity, really. What is up, guys? My name is Ryan World Movies, and this is going to be my review for A Quiet Place Day 1, which, good timing that I'm doing this right now because it's actually very late at night, so most people are sleeping right now, so good timing because to keep up with the theme of this movie, I'm going to try to do this review at least in just, very as quietly as I can without making too much of a ruckus, because if you do, then we all know what happens. But anyways, A Quiet Place Day 1 is a prequel entry to the Quiet Place franchise, which tells the origin story of how these sound-sensitive alien creatures from the first two Quiet Place films arrived on Earth, and how the world fell into silence beginning with the invasion of New York City. The film is in the perspective of Samira, played by Lupita Nyong'o, a terminally ill cancer patient, her cat Frodo, and Eric, played by Joseph Quinn, an English law student, as they navigate through the now abandoned city whilst avoiding the invading extraterrestrial audio creatures. Now, for all you returning viewers out there, thank you so much for tuning back in. I really do appreciate your continuing support. But for all you newcomers here who are coming across my channel for the very first time, welcome to my channel, Ryan World Movies, where I cover all things movie or TV show related content, or just anything within pop culture, where I cover reviews, or ranking videos, or reaction videos as well. And if that's your jam, feel free to punch that subscribe button in the face! And yeah, feel free to check out my channel to see what other things you may be a fan of, because I'm hoping to cover those kinds of content too, whatever you may be a fan of. But anyways, let's head on to the actual review. As someone who really loved the last two A Quiet Place films, I think they're two of the most unique, original, and interesting films that I've ever seen of the horror, thriller, suspense genres. Once there were trailers of this movie, it immediately caught my interest, and it made me keen on to seeing how it all started, especially with how the world finds out that these creatures are extremely sensitive to sound. And not gonna lie though, this is actually probably the only Quiet Place film so far that I've actually watched in the cinema. I've watched the previous two on plane rides only. And what I like about this movie is that it has such a unique premise that you have to survive in this post-apocalyptic world is to not make any noise whatsoever to attract these monsters. And this movie had that same atmosphere or setting, and that it reminded me once again just how powerful the tone of this Quiet Place franchise actually is to get people invested into this world, where it actually encourages, engages, and forces the audience to also remain completely silent while watching this movie.
A Quiet Place Day 1 starts Thursday.
Though I will say that it might have mainly been due to one of the audience members telling some teenagers that were sitting in front of us to shut up! Right when the movie started, literally during the very first shot of the movie too. These teenagers were for some reason just chuckling at the very beginning of the movie until a guy half shouted to them, "Shut up!" once or twice, and they were pretty much silent for the majority of the movie ever since. So I don't know whether to give props to this random dude or treat him as our lord, our savior. All hail mysterious hero of the cinema. Or actually, on the contrary, he may have made the experience worse, semi-worse for the people around him. I don't know. By the way, me saying "shut up" twice, I don't know if that's enough to wake people up, upstairs or downstairs, but yeah, still gonna continue to try to remain as quietly as possible if I can. Anyways, what I liked about this movie is that I noticed the bland gray color tone of this movie, which is less colorful than I think the last two films, which I feel like it gives it a more realistic tone. It gives it this war atmosphere, comparing to other action films where mass destructions of cities usually take place not only in the daytime, especially in New York City, but they still maintain this vibrant, colorful, and bright tone that we normally see from New York City at the same time. So I actually appreciate this film for not only giving this darker tone to this movie, as though it is also a semi-war movie, but also adding this more realistic tone to city destructions that we see in movies. It should be more dark and fearsome and horrifying and even traumatizing for that matter. One thing I also really liked about this movie was the sound editing. What I like about these Quiet Place films is that they play a lot with the sound. It remains relatively quiet throughout most of the movie, minus the backing track music. So the sounds you hear, such as walking footsteps, water splashing, doors creaking open, these are usually smaller in volume, they sound more crisp, and when it gets to the scary, suspenseful moments, accompanied by the musical score, those moments can be very loud too, that can get your heart racing because of how quiet the surrounding atmosphere is made to be. Therefore, this is actually another one of those films that I highly recommend to check out in the cinema if you can, for the full cinematic experience, to fully experience this movie if you want to experience the sound in the best quality possible. The way it was meant to be heard. There was also some great chemistry between Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn. They made up for a lot of the sweet, wholesome, and touching moments in the movie, especially after getting to know the characters' motives and backstories. And I like some of the music song tracks in the movie soundtrack as well. So yeah, all in all, this is actually a really simple movie, by no means a very action-packed, fast-paced one. But honestly, I really like and have a really big soft spot for simple movies like this, where they have simple but well-developed characters, as well as simple but well-written scripts. However, I will say that I am a tad little disappointed that the movie did not delve more or deeper enough into how everyone found out that these extraterrestrial alien creatures are driven and attracted to sound, as they have very strong, powerful sense of hearing. I was actually hoping the movie would be about how the characters and city explore and discover what causes these aliens to start attacking and killing people, but the movie sort of just rolls along with it after the invasion starts, like moves on right on to the next scene, and sort of skims over any sort of clear explanation as to why or how these aliens only sense sound. I mean, we do see close-ups of the aliens' ears later in the film, similar to how we do in the previous Quiet Place films, and I guess you could take that as just sort of explanation for these creatures' metabolism, but still, kind of let down that they just skimmed through it, really. Another problem I had at the start was Samira, and basically having her only motive being to get pizza from Harlem. And at first, I'll admit, I thought it sounded laughably stupid at first, but slowly as you're getting more invested in these characters, when she eventually gets pizza and you discover more of a backstory as to why she wants to get pizza in the first place, it all feels satisfying, and the acting helps to effectively pull them off as emotional moments in the movie. Yeah, I will say that this movie got surprisingly quite emotional at times. So to sum it up, I really like this movie, especially experiencing this in the cinema as my very first time watching A Quiet Place film there. It is another one of those movies that I highly recommend you hardcore moviegoers out there if you want to experience this movie the way it was meant to be seen, or heard, no pun intended. It certainly adds more lore to the overall narrative and helps to continue building this world of this A Quiet Place franchise. Though there were still some loose ends that were left unanswered, such as the movie not really doing a lot to delve into how everyone finds out and discovers that these creatures, function by the acute sense of sound. So I didn't really leave the theater feeling completely satisfied after watching it. So I actually don't know where or how to rank this movie actually in comparison to the other A Quiet Place films. Maybe right in between 1 and 2, or maybe right on par with 2, or a bit better than or worse than 2. I don't know. I'll leave you guys to discuss that in the comments. However, I will say that I find that it is a befitting addition to the franchise. Maybe they might do another prequel or spin-off later on. But overall, as a movie, almost everything works really well in my opinion, and this will still go down as another unique movie in a franchise of other uniquely original movies. I'm going to go ahead and give this movie an 8 out of 10 and an A-. Alright guys, it's going to be my time in my review for A Quiet Place Day 1. Thank you so much for watching, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and hammer that like button, and you can always hit that notification bell so you can be notified for when another video like this pops up next. And please, share this video around to as many people as possible. Tell your friends, tell your family, to your dad, to your mom, your sister, your brother. I don't care. Anybody who you know is a movie fan, or who has watched or heard of this movie, or whoever may be interested in this movie, you can share this video to. It will be very much appreciated. And if you like what you see here, be sure to punch that subscribe button in the face so you can tune in for more content of all things movie, TV shows, whatever on this channel right here. Don't forget to check out the full playlist of all movie and TV related things covered this year of 2024 on the box on the right or in the description box below. And if you want to check out the previous video, click the video on the left. But that's all this is going to do for me, folks. I hope to see you all online again for the next thing. Rhinos, roll out, take care.